President Obama and British Prime Minister David Cameron writing a joint op-ed in the Times of London ahead of their meeting at the White House tonight. The two world leaders vowing to stand together to fight terrorism. Now, in the op-ed, the President and Prime Minister write in part, whether we are facing lone fanatics or terrorist organizations such as Al-Qaeda, Islamic State, or Boko Haram, we will not be cowed by extremists. We will defeat these barbaric killers and their distorted ideology. Now, if you read the entire joint op-ed, there's no mention of radical Islam. Why not? Joining us now, Gardner, director of the Margaret Thatcher Center for Freedom. Now, am I just picking away at this thing and I'm being unfair? But why is there no radical Islam, or is that just irrelevant to the discussion?
Well, I think it's an extremely important point. And looking carefully at that op-ed in the Times of London today, clearly both leaders do not refer to Islamic radicalism or Islamist extremism. I suspect that is because the White House probably requested that, because President Obama does not refer to these terror attacks that we've seen happening in Europe as Islamist related. Now, David Cameron is very different in this respect. He has on a number of occasions referred to the poisonous ideology of Islamist extremism. He is far more hard-hitting in terms of the language he uses about identifying the nature of the Islamist threat that we face. So there is a clear distinction, actually, between the position of the British Prime Minister and the U.S. President.
Except for the British Prime Minister, if that is indeed so, allowed the President of the United States to sort of scrub his op-ed, and they put it in the London Times. I didn't see it in the New York Times today or the Washington Post. So, I mean, why would the British Prime Minister, who's been more hard-hitting on that issue, and the President, of course, won't say that, why would he let that happen?
Well, I suspect that David Cameron doesn't want to have any kind of dispute when he comes here to Washington. But in tomorrow's press conference of the two world leaders, I think you are going to see a distinction coming across between the British Prime Minister and the US President, because I do think Barack Obama at the moment looks very, very weak with regard to the global fight against Islamist extremism. He doesn't even refer to this as a war. But I do think that David Cameron understands we are engaged in a global war against the Islamists, a war that we absolutely have to win. So there is a clear divide between the two leaders on this. It'll be very interesting to see if this division actually comes out tomorrow. And you have seen a number of David Cameron's cabinet ministers coming out referring to the fight against Islamist radicalism. And so you do have a more clear-cut sense in Britain than you do have here in Washington with regard to President Obama's handling of this issue. So
we have 30 seconds left. If there's a way to sort of distill what the British reaction was to President Obama not showing up in Paris, no big deal, or did they see that as a slight?
I do think they saw it as a very big deal, actually. Obama's no-show in Europe, frankly, was a huge slap in the face for America's allies in Europe. It was arrogant, it was rude, it was very dismissive. It sent all the wrong signals to America's friends in Europe and all the wrong signals to America's enemies on the world stage.
Thank you.
My pleasure.